Welcome back to the Beat That Bosscast. Today we're going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. It's exciting to be back, and yeah, we got some cool things set up for you. So again, my name's Travis. I'm one of the hosts, along with my good friend Daniel. How are you doing
Doing
today,
all
Daniel?
right. A little spicy in here, but other than that, we're good.
Nice, nice, nice. And as a special treat today, we have our other good friend, a decent friend, I would say at least. David here. He got a new PS5, and I think we'd all benefit to hear some of the stories and tales behind the release of a new console. So that's all cool stuff. But to get the ball rolling, Daniel, what you been playing?
Well, this past week I've been playing there's a lot of games released, which is the funny thing. Like I'm
Yeah,
playing too much. We had the Destiny expansion, we had Miles Morales, we had AC Valhalla, and we had Godfall. Like
nice.
four fucking games in all fucking 1 week. It's ridiculous. Uh, I'm sure we're all gonna talk about the Destiny expansion at some point, so I'll leave that for later. Um, AC Valhalla been playing about I put about 6 hours into it now. Uh, that game is good. It's definitely much better than Legion, as I told you guys before. The issue with Legion is just it's I really liked it at the start when you're just walking around, just recruiting any potential candidate that you see would fit you, and that's really fun. The problem with Legion is that the mission structure is so cookie cookie cutter and boring to the point where it you I'm not exaggerating when I say all the missions take place in the same exact 10 locations on the game map. Like I
Huh.
would say I visited the hospital 20 times for 20 different missions. The exact same
Huh.
hospital, with the exact same layout, with the exact same objective. And
Oh
it just gets
gosh.
incredibly monotonous. And you sequence that with Valhalla where they added the combat's much slower, funnily enough, than Odyssey, but it's more
Yeah.
so the combat of Valhalla is interesting because just like the previous games, you have light attack and heavy attack, and you have your abilities, right? But the difference is the abilities, like the actual like abilities that you assign to a face button, you have to find those in the world. You no longer earn them by leveling up. Instead, what you level up are your passive and your stats. I mean, you'll get some abilities like, you'll be able to assassinate at higher damage, but it's mostly just passives.
Okay.
But the interesting thing with the combat is the dual wielding, because anything that's one handed, you can dual wield, and it has its own button attack combination associated with it.
Okay.
All
And
right.
when you use that attack, it drains your stamina. Now, here's the thing: when you're attacking with light attacks, you are not using stamina. In fact, you are gaining stamina. But your heavy attacks is what drains stamina. So the idea they want you to do is to keep a healthy balance between heavy and light attacks. So you maybe use, let's say, two heavy attacks on a guy, take him down, and then start hitting the other guy with your light attack to build up your stamina.
Okay.
Story is interesting. Not much to say the least. 6 hours is not too much, but that's not really what I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about Godfall because I
Yeah, I've been
All right.
pumped for that game.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Real quick with Legion. How long were you? Sorry, I want to go back a little bit. How long did you stay with Legion before you just gave up on it?
6 hours, about the same time I'm currently having
Sorry,
in Valhalla.
6 hours,
Yeah,
and you've been to the hospital that many times in that many
yeah.
hours.
And keep in mind, in terms of story missions, I did like three.
Okay. What about side missions or some other stuff then?
So that's the thing. There technically are no side missions. The side missions are the missions you get for recruiting people.
Okay.
So by that, I recruited like 23 people. So a lot.
Okay. Where because I think we're going a little bit too fast. I'd like to talk about Legion real quick.
Yeah, right.
Um, because we're going pretty fast here. Okay, with Legion, um, how when you're getting a bunch of characters, right? Eventually, some dialogue will have to match some other person's dialogue for story purposes, right? They would
So
probably record the exact same, like say yes here, or say some form of agreement in this line, or something like that. How would
okay.
that work?
So the way
Sorry.
they did it is they had 12 people, 12 different people to record all the lines in the game. like so 6 men, 6 women, and they use a bot to pitch shift everything. So while there's only 12 voices, it gives the illusion of there's actually more because it's constantly pitch shifting at random. But
Okay.
but the issue with this is, and this is why I feel there should have been at least one actual character you played as, is that in the cutscenes, the lip syncing compared to the actual like characters is incredibly off, and the dialogue is significantly more awkward because of that. Like it's a neat idea, but I would say it ends up hurting the experience because like I said, 'cause, like, you look at the voice acting, the lip syncing of the main characters. I don't even remember their names, but they're leagues ahead of 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 your recruited NPCs.
Okay. So I mean, because like something like this scale, it feels like a bit of an undertaking, or is that the right word? It just there's so much to do for something like you're not making one set character like the last two, the iconic characters of
Aiden Pierce,
you know Aiden Pierce and I think the other one was Marcus. They were like, all right, you don't like any of these characters. Some people didn't like Marcus, I guess. I never played those two. They're like, fuck it, we'll give you, we'll give you any character to play as. Go have fun. And I guess it didn't really appeal to so many people. People were liking it, but of course, I never played it. I never played it, so I can't really say anything about it.
Yeah.
It seems like a mixed game right now.
I
Um,
think
I
Legion's
think what I've read about Watch Dogs Legion is that you're right on with the lip sync, and lip syncing's all off, and it's all a bunch of random characters. But I've also heard that it's pretty fun to go through some of those missions when
so
you're like with a ragtag team of complete like strangers. Just seems kind of like that seems like the offbeat sort of fun
here's
that
the
comes with it
problem.
as the trade-off.
You don't technically have a team. You can only play one person at a time. You can't have multiple of your teammates come in and back you up. In fact, if you switch to them, the other person you were playing with will just walk off. So you're
Okay.
always only having one character. And
Okay.
the problem is, like the first few hours, I genuinely had a lot of fun, right? Like it was a fun game to play.
Right.
But eventually that just wears off and there's not much to do. I mean, in terms of mini games, you have kicking a soccer ball,
right.
darts, getting drunk,
Mhm.
I don't need it for that.
and that's it. Otherwise, you have the standard, like missions, like like destabilize the region. That's the other thing. So the whole idea of Watch Dogs Legion is London is taken over by a militaristic private military company, and the idea is you're trying to take it back through revolution.
All right.
I think the biggest misses they've done was not having that visually be shown. So let's say you completely cause revolution in one of the regions, like in Westminster, it won't
Okay.
be any different. There will be no difference except maybe a couple signs that have the Watchdogs like "We Are Legion" logo on it. That's it.
Got it.
And I feel like that's one of the biggest missed opportunities. I feel like one of the things I really like, especially when in games like this, is seeing how your effects have an action on the world. And Watch
Yeah,
Dogs
that's
Legion doesn't do that.
uh that's disappointing, but at least AC Valhalla is coming out. I mean, again, the thing is that you didn't we don't really have time in this time frame to really try and dive deep into video games right now because there's so many coming out. There's
Oh
so many good
man.
choices. I mean, for example, I do want to talk about Godfall and what your experiences with that. Like that has been one of the games that I'm super pumped for so far. The more like I was very medium on it when it got announced and then all the way leading up to it, but after watching Arex's videos and stuff, like it looks like a lot of fun. So I mean, tell us a little bit about that. You've been playing that on PC, right?
That's right. Because I don't have a PS5, and my uncle got
Yeah.
me the Epic Games Store code, so I was forced to download Epic Games. But I feel like it's important to mention the issues I had getting this fucking thing to even download.
Oh boy.
So I do not like Epic Games at
Hmm.
all. I
Oh God.
hate Epic Games, and I would
Why
not have
not?
downloaded this if it wasn't for the fact that I got this code as a birthday gift from my uncle. Straight up. So let's talk about downloading the fucking launcher.
Ooh.
Okay. So I downloaded it, no problem. Started up. I swear to God, it runs at sub 20 FPS, which is insane to me. I've never seen you know what it reminds me of? Have you guys ever opened the Uplay store or Uplay like website on your PlayStation? And it will be something
Oh God, really?
like that at the start.
Oh man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
No, I
laggy,
haven't.
you mean
slow, stuttery. It's just it's an
ooh.
awful. And then trying to get to the redeem code section was an arduous task in and of itself, especially because it wouldn't take the code the first 3 times for no reason until I just uninstalled it, reinstalled it, and then it worked. So after I got all that bullshit out of the way, I started playing Godfall. I believe I'm close to the end. I got to the third world. I've unlocked most of the Valor plates by now.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying the combat loop. However, there are some issues. First one, okay, so this is an interesting one because this my opinion on this changed literally last night when I played a certain mission. So for the majority of the game, I felt it was way too easy. Like you like you slaughter through enemies with ease, and bosses have like segments in their health bar where when you get them past that point, even if you die and restart at the checkpoint, they'll still be missing that chunk.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's super easy to just whittle a boss down. So I would recommend if you ever play it, you would put it on the hard difficulty at first. Because the hard
Okay.
difficulty only gives you 3 lives, and after that you have to restart the mission. But you also get more loot, right?
Oh,
But
that's
Got it.
good.
Okay.
Some games don't do that where it's just hard modes like you don't get anything extra.
yeah.
That's good.
Then I get to a certain mission called the Floating Remnant. So, in addition to bosses, there are also mini bosses, and each of them have their own little quirks, right? So, there's one called the Black Tide Brute, which is a big beefy boy who's all about charging you and doing area of effect attacks with his claws. He can deal blue
Okay.
fire damage, and the whole idea is you're supposed to get into like a rhythm, hit dodge, hit dodge, keep away, don't get near the AoE, things like that. Then there's another one called the Black Tide. I think it's Infantryman. I don't remember his name, but his whole thing is he stays
Sure.
away from the player. He wants to keep as much distance between you and him as possible. And what he does is he throws shurikens.
Oh God.
So he usually does 2 ways and then tries to lasso you. If he lassos you, he will stun you and cause bleed, allowing him to come in for an attack. Now, on their own, they are nice challenges. But last night,
Ah, Ornstein and Smo. Is it a rematch?
so
I sense it.
here's the problem. It's not designed as a boss fight. It's just a mini boss encounter on your way to the mission.
Right. Right.
And so this is where my issue with the enemy design, the difficulty comes in. So you have your light attack, you have your heavy attack, you have your dodge, you have your weapon techniques that you use, and each weapon has their own little quirks, right?
Special abilities. Yeah.
Yeah, you also have your shield, which is useful for blocking and parrying, as well as making breach damage, which is that little bar that appears over an enemy health that you can cut a chunk off once you hit him with heavy attack. I'll get more into that in a bit, but first I want to
Yeah.
make this clear. So you have a shield that's designed for parrying both physical and ranged attacks, and for blocking damage. You have a
Sure.
dodge that allows you to get out of danger areas really quickly.
Right.
Now, the problem with these mini bosses is you can't block any of their attacks. And sometimes if you don't dodge right, you'll still be in the AoE circle. So,
Is there
if
iframes or anything or?
no, there are no iframes as far as I can
Mm.
tell. As far as I can tell. I could be wrong, but as far as I can tell, there are no iframes.
Okay.
Um, and every single one of their attacks staggers you if you block it. I'm talking literally every single one. Even during normal swipes, it will stagger you. So,
Yeah.
so you have a guy who's constantly charging at you, and you have a guy who's throwing shurikens. The shurikens also stagger you. And here's the thing:
Oh, so if you get hit by one.
if you're not blocking and it hits you, you get knocked back onto your ass, and you have to wait for the character to get back up before you can do anything else. Luckily, there are iframes on the knockback, but it took me, I'm not even joking, an hour to get through that fight because I had to cheese them because they were incredibly high health, and this was on normal difficulty.
Yeah.
And for some reason, on mini bosses, the breach and soul shatter damage doesn't work the same way. So I actually tried just wailing him with light attacks and to get his breach bar up. It
Right.
won't go up past like 2%. So that's not worth it. But then I remembered, oh, I can keep using heavy attacks to build up his stun meter. Because as you know, just like in God of War, enemies have a stun meter, which when you bring that up, you can perform a takedown on them. Enemies
Right.
will be one shot by this or will be massively damaged. For some reason, these guys just when you stun them, they're just down. They don't take more damage. And you can't take down them. And it takes way too many hits to actually get them up.
Oh wow.
So I've been enjoying the game, but that one part was astronomically awful.
Well, it seems like it was. I mean, it seems like it was just a sort of a difficulty spike, but like not in a good way, really.
Exactly. Just because
Um,
like the mobs I was facing earlier in that mission were nothing. And here's the thing, I
right.
was using a greatsword and a warhammer because those are my strongest weapons.
Right.
And I also like the way I've been using not Mesa, I can't remember her name, but one of the Valor Plate's ability is when they do chill damage, they heal.
Okay.
So I combined that with chill dual blades so that when the moment it's proc, I'm constantly healing. I had to switch to another one because that wasn't enough.
Jeez.
And keep in mind, early and this mission was probably the buckiest mission too, because earlier you have to break 3 seals to even get to that point. 2 times, one of those seals just became unbreakable,
Yeah.
which is weird because for most of my experience, it was pretty much buggy free. It was well optimized. I have apart from a few settings running on higher epic, and I'm getting a steady 60 FPS. And the game visually looks good. Like, but it's just this one mission really drained me.
Mm.
And I'm hoping that that's not what the end game is. If that's what the end game is, I'm not sure I want to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I definitely I hear you on this, and I haven't played the game at all. It does sound like there was sort of a weird difficulty spike with just having two bosses. Any sort of game that adds two bosses into a specific area can either go really well or really bad because either it's like boring and they suck, or it's they're way too overpowered and it's not like something that the game is designed to build, or it's great. So if they just added two into the same area, that's definitely
Yeah.
not something
The problem
that's
is,
optimal.
and the
But
problem that makes it worse is it's not like, let's say, okay, they do unblockable like special attack every 30 seconds, right? And then they just do normal attacks. No, it's every 5 seconds. I was
well, as far as I'm aware, with blocking in that game, the shield isn't really meant for. I mean, a lot of blocking. It is from the videos I've seen. It doesn't look like you're supposed to block that much, if I'm not mistaken.
no, you're not. You're supposed to parry.
It's supposed to be like pushing the offense, right? Like the whole a lot of the gameplay design is around sort of
Right.
pushing your
But the
offensive
problem,
edge. And
yes, but the problem with it arises when you have enemies who are constantly doing AoE unblockable like attacks that will knock you on your ass no matter what. And at least with the block, you're not taking it because they did a stupid amount of damage.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the other issue that this fight highlighted with me was the lock on. The lock on's trash. Like it. Okay. So it's similar to Dark Souls, where when you lock on, there'll be a sort of there'll be a lock like menu on the character
Like
model.
a dot or something, like a
Yeah,
circle,
yeah,
or
exactly, like a dot, or you won't be able to switch between people. If you want to switch between other monsters, you have to unlock and then lock back. But two, when you are locking, it does not keep them in frame. What it does is it keeps your character facing them.
that's weird.
It's really janky and it's really bad feeling with lack of a
That
better
seems
term.
very weird. Yeah,
I hope they fix it because it caused a lot of issues in that fight as well. Whereas like I literally couldn't see what he was going to do to me because my camera was off to the right instead of to the left
right,
where he
right,
was.
right.
As for the story,
God's fall.
it's
Like I don't know, like what is it?
nothing. Like let's be honest too, you're not going to play this game for the story. It's a looter slasher. Uh, anything else? The whole idea of bringing up your weapons with you is a really good system. However, don't do anything to low level gear because you can bring them up to rarities and you can increase their damage, but you can't level up their level. So let's say you get a legendary weapon like I did at level 9. You want to get
Right.
that all the way up. Unfortunately, because it's level 9, it has a very specific cap, as it will only go up to 98 attack power. And the problem is, from what I figured out, once you level up something, it's locked, so you can't salvage it. And I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Yeah, so like half of my inventory, or not half, like a fourth, is just filled with locked weapons that I can't do anything with. There's no storage as far as I can see, and I can't salvage them. I don't know if it's a bug or if it's what they intended, but
Maybe there's something after you beat the story that you can do
that's,
with them or something.
that's what I'm hoping to beat it today, but we'll have to see. But
Yeah.
overall,
Very interesting. Speaking of loot, though, I mean, you were talking about like the different weapons you were getting. So I know it's a looter slasher, but you're stuck. I mean, you have the 12 Valor plates, right? Like I know that it's basically like Warframe. There's like 12 specific, suits of armor that you can have with different perks and
yes.
buffs and stuff. But like, so what? So in terms of loot, you're getting weapons and like what else? Like how does the loot system?
Okay, so obviously the big thing are your weapons, right? Each weapon comes
Right.
with its own ability or and own second ability if it's a legendary or higher. But you also earn rings, you earn charms, amulets, life stones, banners,
Okay.
and augments. So, just going down the list real quick. l- Rings, rings, amulets, and charms, pretty self-explanatory. They are all just meant to give you. They either drop at a random sort, either give you more might, vitality, or wisdom. I think is the third uh, ability, which is your technique charge stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
Right, and then it'll have like a random perk like, oh, this will give you more critical hit damage. But the stuff that you want is the life stones and the banners. So the life stone
Okay.
is your healing item, and these will be, from what I can tell, these will by far be your most valuable item because
Okay.
not only do they have a shitload of perks on them, but they also give you the most points stat wise. So they are key to making sure that you are leveled enough to
Leveled enough.
attack enemies.
So you're saying that like Estus flasks in Dark Souls, for example,
Pretty
those healing items are actually drops, like loot that you get different perks with and stuff?
So the life stones are just life stones. They just heal you. You only have 3. But for some reason
Sure.
you can equip different ones. And
Okay.
from what I can tell, the perk is always on. So you don't have to like use it to activate any of the perks. It's just that from what I've noticed
But it has perks.
yes, it's just what I noticed in terms of the point value, it is by far the most valuable thing.
Okay.
Because because
Okay.
because
Okay.
right now I'm level 29. Both of my swords are over 100 damage. A lot of my rings and charms give me like between 64 and 88 of one of the 3 perks, or one of the 3,
Yeah.
like God, I can't fucking speak. But the one lifestone I have gave me 259,
Okay.
which is a huge jump.
That's a massive jump, yeah, from what you're
So
talking about.
clearly, that's what you want, and I think that's health recovery. So like that's important. So the
Got it.
better your life stone, the better you will heal.
Nice.
Especially
Okay.
because as far as I know, you only get 3. You don't
Yeah.
get
And
more.
speaking, actually, we were talking about Valor plates earlier too. You were saying that you had one that like chilled people and you healed as you were doing
That's
chill
right.
damage or whatever. How are you finding the Valor plates? Are they interesting? Do they have different things that make them cool, or are they kind of just generic between?
So that's the thing I was probably a little disappointed with. It's not as varied as I would like it to be. I mean, obviously, when it comes to passives that they do, they're significantly different. But when it comes to activating their Archon Furies with their ult, they'll do
Yeah.
one of 3 things. They'll either release an explosion, summon three stationary turrets, or summon 3 ghostly entities to help you fight, and that's it. So like that's not the impressive stuff that separates them apart. What separates them
Okay.
apart is the passes that they do once it's activated. So for example, the bug one, I can't remember her name either. when while her Archon Fury is activated, all her attacks have a 90% chance to do shock damage. She does
Okay.
more damage to enemies who are shocked, and her technique weapon techniques charge faster. Then there's
Wow.
other
Okay.
ones where they're all about creating breach damage. There's one that's all about building Soul Shatter up. And the one I use the most is all about healing when you inflict chill.
Okay.
So, do you? I think you said this before, or maybe it was for another game. But do you think this is because it sounds like to me, it sounds like a mix of Warframe in this kind of like you're getting different like characters, right,
Pretty
to
much.
play as. So
Pretty much. But mostly like I said,
not in, as much as in depth, but
yeah, because I don't think the build diversity will matter until I get the end game. So right now it's
Right.
just like, hey, who do you like?
right,
Right.
right,
Right.
right.
Right. Right. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, so far it kind of sounds like you were having a good time and you kind of ran into a wall that seems like it was kind of artificially made, like not something that was necessarily
Oh yeah.
good for the game itself, but otherwise like on the whole over your entire time playing it it sounds like it seems like something I'm still interested in. Like this is not like an Anthem where you tell me about it, I'm like, well, never touching that game.
Yeah.
But it sounds more like it sounds like it's been good for a period of time, and then there was just a specific like point in the game that just wasn't calibrated correctly
Yeah.
in what it needed to do.
Before we move on, I want to make it clear, don't get it on PS5 yet. Because
Why?
people have been reporting a lot of issues with the PS5 version. The PS5 version has caused overheating, hard crashes, and a couple people I've seen have their system bricked because of that game. So
Really?
something's wrong with the PS5 version, and I would recommend like if you have a PS5 and you're interested in the game, wait a little bit for a couple patches because I've been seeing it at an extraordinary rate that I don't think it's, and especially because they're out and they're in low supply. So if you brick your system, you might not be able to get another one for a long
Mm.
time.
Right, right, right. Well, that's good to know. Huh.
So that's what
Thing.
you've been kind of playing this week, huh? Godfall, Legion for a bit,
Valhalla,
Assassin's Creed,
yeah.
and anything else that you've been playing?
Destiny we're gonna talk about, but
Yeah, Destiny. We'll save for later.
is Miles Morales.
Right. Okay.
I
Miles
beat
Morales.
last night. I beat Miles Morales last night. That
Okay.
is really fucking good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I absolutely love Spider-Man. Honestly, I think Spider-Man was my game of the year in 2018. People say it was God of War. Maybe I'm a little bit of a Spider-Man aficionado. Maybe a little bit. I'm not huge on Spider-Man, but I really love Spider-Man. I don't read the comics as much as I should. I know, right?
I'm
Like
not
listen.
huge on Spider-Man, but I do love
I
Spider-Man.
It's
we gotta start
okay. Okay, that makes no sense. What that makes no sense. I'm sorry. That game, I just I loved it. The swinging just felt great. The combat for the original 2018 Spider-Man was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to this one. Of course, I got a shit ton of games to play through right now, but yeah, tell us what how'd you like it?
Okay, so the thing that's worthy of noting is that it's not a full game. It's not a full price game. It's not $60, it's $50. And the question people are probably going to ask is, well, why is it $50 opposed to 60? So the answer is pretty simple. It's not as long as Spider-Man 2018, and you don't have as many abilities. You have four gadgets, and you have three skill trees.
Mm,
But honestly, I kind of prefer that. Oh, I kind of felt that a lot of the gadgets in 2018 were rendered obsolete by other gadgets, and I almost never used
yeah.
them. Having four that you're constantly switching between is great. So you have your web shooter, which is standard. You have hollow drones, which are AI buddies you can summon to help you out. You have shock mines, which are designed to stealthily take out enemies in a certain radius.
Mm.
And you have, which is probably my favorite, the gravity well, it's essentially a black hole.
Oh, that's back. Oh, is it the same from Spider-Man 1 or the 2018 one where you throw on the ground and throw people up or?
No, it sucks people in
Oh,
because
okay.
one of the difference between Miles Morales and Peter Parker is Miles Morales has Venom Sting, which is bioelectric abilities, and he has a whole
Okay.
set of combat suites with that. So And there are enemies that are dedicated to like, okay, if you want to deal with them, you have to use the Venom Punch or the Venom Dash or the Venom Slam. So one of my favorite things to do is to use the the gravity well, pull in like 5 guys, and then do a Venom Slam that incapacitates them all at once. And it's a ton of fun. The suit design is probably the best I've seen. I don't think there's a single one that I hate. Like every single suit in Miles Morales is top tier.
Yeah, I've seen a few
Nice.
screenshots.
Yeah, the Crimson Cowl and
Damn, that looks great.
the Daft Punk one is still my favorite.
Yeah, that was really fucking sweet. But the
The
Tims
story
though,
the story is really good. But once again, it's not as long. I think it took me 10 hours to complete the story.
Okay. Yep.
And from what I've seen, it'll take like 20 to 25 to complete all the content in the game. But if you want to
Okay.
platinum it, you have to play it twice. You have to play New Game Plus. So I haven't unlocked all the suits. I'm missing all but one because it's locked behind New Game Plus. Same with 3 abilities.
mm,
So one of the things that I really liked about the first Spider-Man, and I love the first Spider-Man game as well. Maybe not quite as much as David, but I really did enjoy it. But one of the things that really like won me over with that Spider-Man was the story. Like the story itself was just really well told with believable characters. And I know there's been some changes to Peter Parker's, face design and everything like that.
mhm.
Does that make any sort of play with the story or anything,
Yeah,
or like is the story still awesome? Like how is the
so the
story? I guess.
story I would say is probably not as strong as 2018, but it's still very good. It
Okay.
it still has a good progression of Miles being, very inefficient and very like constantly second guessing himself to becoming more confident at the end. And the final fight is really good, except for that fucking camera. Oh my god! Oh my god! No, you don't understand. So imagine every time you're launching yourself towards the final boss, the camera whips around like crazy and you can't see for like half the fight. That was happening
Oh
constantly.
fuck.
I don't know how I won that fight.
Yeah, no, but yeah, like I think I don't know how well they're gonna do emotional storytelling or facial like expressions because like that matters a lot when it turns into like
Oh,
a
they did a
really
great job.
important cutscene. Yeah, but like as Travis is playing or talking, what was talking about the new change to Spider-Man. I don't believe you.
So
Did you
yeah,
buy it or did you play it or
I don't
no?
have Spider-Man Mask. I don't have
Oh,
the
okay, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
I
that's
do.
locked, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Okay. I will say this.
hmm,
So he does appear at the start of the game, at the end of the game. Start of the game, he does have his mask off. He looks much better. He's mocap much better, which is why I'm convinced that they just copy pasted his model into 2016 with 2018 without fixing it. Because I've been looking at footage of Spider-Man Remastered, and the mocap on him in that game is not as good as it is in the small amounts it was here in Miles Morales.
it
Like
looks
straight up.
off. Yeah, it
Like,
looked off. I saw. Sorry, go ahead.
which is why it's like, yeah, no shit, because he was mocap for Miles Morales, not for Spider-Man Remastered. Spider-Man Remastered, all they did was just copy paste the model, and it looks awful, especially
Yeah,
in the final scene.
it looks like one of those like deep fakes.
It's
When
awful. I hate
when,
it. I
when
absolutely
like because there was so much tension. I know it's been like 2 years. I'll try not to spoil the ending, anyways, for anyone listening. But like that ending was so goddamn emotional with the mocap. Like I don't. How would you change that again? I feel like it would be so awkward, or it wouldn't match as much because that ending was just. I felt whatever Peter was feeling in his face. Like that was like heart wrenching. Just to like this person you were trying to like
Oh
be
yeah,
greater with and go
mocap
go the
actually did
mile with.
a fantastic job. And like, I'm still convinced the reason why they changed it was because he wanted more money from the Spider-Man remaster. And they're like, lol, no, get recast.
Jesus. Wait, you're on Thor or the
Well, either way, I mean,
oh,
I think that sounds like a big winner so
He's
far.
uh,
Like Spider. Oh, go ahead.
Yuri
Sorry.
Lowenthal is the voice actor. He's not the face actor. The face actor for the original Spider-Man 2018 was Ben Hudson.
oh that okay, sorry, I'm mixing them up. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, either way, I mean, Spider-Man seems like they are just such a solid property. Insomniac always puts out such polished work Like most of the time, like anytime you pick up an Insomniac game, ever since Ratchet and Clank, you get something polished one way or another. So I think that that's awesome that they continued that trend with Miles Morales, and I'm really excited, especially after watching Into the Spider Verse. Because I mean, honestly, I'm not a comics books guy at all, but I now know who Miles Morales is, and I'm very interested in playing a game with him as the main
Speaking of
lead. So
Spider-Verse, that mod that you can equip to have your sound effects be from the movie and movement,
Really?
yeah, and have them animate like the movie is god tier.
Oh my
It
god.
looks so. I'm going
oh
to
yeah, I forgot they did.
that.
Didn't they? They had him go in lower frame
Yeah,
rate, didn't they? Don't they have him swinging in lower frame rate to match what he
yeah,
does in
and
the?
it looks really good, which is really shocking. Like
Yeah,
I can't wait to replay the game with that only that on, nothing else.
I remember the original Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse. They had the Spider-Man 2018 costume in one of the cutscenes,
That's right.
or in
As
one of
a
the scenes.
Easter
Sorry.
egg.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for the next movie for that one. Man, that's gonna be fantastic. And screw all these idiots hating on Miles Morales. Man, it's ridiculous out here.
No, my Spider-Man.
And I'm not
yeah,
gonna get, and I'm not gonna get too far into that, but
yeah. Whatever,
yeah,
idiots.
yeah,
Either
but
way.
it's anyways.
Anyway, so for the last week or so, I have been going in pretty hard into Destiny, I'll say. So yeah, I haven't had much time to play too much else. I've now finished my third character. I'm back on my Titan. Just preparing for the raid and getting ready for that. And yeah, so the new DLC came out. I think let's talk about it real quick because we've all played it a little bit, so we all have some experience
Yep.
with it. But overall, I think it's a good expansion in a lot of different ways. I think that there's some problems, obviously, because Bungie can never take two steps forward without taking a couple steps back. But
I think that
overall, I think the story was much better paced than Shadowkeep. I think a little bit less interesting because Shadowkeep, had some pretty big revelations or
Yeah.
whatever. But I think the story overall, the actually playing through the story was a lot more enjoyable. There's far less of that stupid fetch quest that they like to do in
oh,
the middle
thank
of
God.
stories, where like go collect 35 million, spin metal, or whatever. So there's a lot less of that, and I really appreciated that. The new Empire hunts, like they're part of the story where you go fight each of the like lieutenants of Aramis. Those are awesome. I liked each one of those. So the story itself was good. Overall, Destiny progression is for the next raid is actually a lot more lenient than I was anticipating. Like getting to 1230, which is what they've said is what you need to be on day one of the raid, is a lot easier than it has been in the past. So I do appreciate that. With that being said, I find the fact that it's randomized drops on what you get for your powerful loot absolutely idiotic, and I feel that way. Um,
Yeah,
I
it's
nothing feels worse. Nothing feels worse than getting 5 or 6 of the same item in a row while you're trying to level up to get to the raid. It just irritates me more than any other video game has irritated me.
yeah.
So
You know what's funny because that with like other games have that thing as well. It's like one of the biggest examples is Diablo, but the way
right,
those games get past that is they literally shower you with loot.
right, yeah,
One run of a Diablo dungeon will get you like 50 items, not even exaggerating. Whereas Destiny, it's like you have a certain like you do technically have a limit on powerful gear per week. So that really
right.
sucks when it's all basically wasted.
Yeah, exactly. And it, even with it being wasted, if you're smart, you can kind of get around it. But it just kind of sucks that I have to min max so hard when I'm getting my powerful loot just to make sure that it actually does something for me. Instead of just going through the options that I have to get my powerful loot, I have to sit there and wonder, oh, can I go farm a blue real quick? That'll level me up more. Oh, maybe I should pull something from the season pass. That'll level me more. Like, it's kind of cool
Yeah,
to do
that's
that,
so
but
annoying.
it's also like just a pain in the butt because then you sit there and you're like, like, what am I doing here if I just got the third helmet in a row? Like that irritates me so
Yeah.
much. Um, but beyond all of that, a lot of people are talking about the sunsetting and stuff like that in the game. And for my 2 cents on sunsetting, I think that Destiny is I think it's okay in Destiny. Again, the whole idea of sunsetting loot in a loot-based game is not something that is is widely enjoyed by the community. However, I actually like the idea of being able to go out and find new loot that I'm going to go ahead and use and fall in love with. Like, I'll never find another loaded question because I love that gun so much, but I might find something new now because I'm not going to be using loaded questions. So the diversity is good. I do think that the loot that I've gotten so far from this expansion has actually all been pretty good. I haven't gotten a single weapon where I was like, well, that's just trash. Like when I was doing the moon stuff, there was a lot of on Shadowkeep, a lot of the moon weapons were just terrible, and I just never
And it
used them.
looked terrible
I
too.
haven't really, yeah, right. I really haven't felt that way with any of the weapons that are new in Shadowkeep. However, I do still, or excuse me, new in Beyond Light. But I do still think that there needs to be more. So I'm waiting for the new season to pop, which is going to happen. Well, there's two things that are going to happen next week. The Empire hunts are going to get a new difficulty,
And
which is
season of the
going to
hunt's
unlock
gonna
new
officially
loot.
start.
Yeah, and then season of the hunt is the week after that. So I think that we'll need to see how the loot comes out after those two things happen. Because if there's enough loot that comes out of those in the raid, then I think this game could definitely will definitely make it on that amount of loot. Right now, it is a little bit on the slim side, based on the fact that they're
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of people's
sunsetting so many
problem is
items.
that we
But
sacrificed a lot and got less. Like
right,
I like someone brought up a good point on the subreddit, and their whole thing was that look, weapons sunsetting sucks, but I get it.
right.
However, paid expansion loot should not be sunsetted. Those should be the only things that should not be sunsetted. Seasonal stuff makes sense because it's seasonal and it gets people playing the game. But stuff that people paid for is just irrelevant and worthless. It really sucks.
Are you talking
Because
about like Forsaken guns
yeah,
or
yeah, like just Forsaken, Shadowkeep. Obviously, to go back far enough, that's not going to work, right? But I still don't agree that Shadowkeep stuff should have been sunsetted. All Shadow
I
Keep stuff
kind of
should have
agree
been
with that
brought
too.
up.
Yeah,
Like because what if someone like to get ready for Beyond Light, let's say bought Shadowkeep like a week prior ago. There is no point in doing that stuff anymore
right,
because it's all irrelevant and it makes no
right, right.
sense.
Right.
I do kind of agree that the loot specifically from Shadowkeep, because that was only a year ago, and what it is purchased like Forsaken, I can see because that was two
Yeah, no,
years
that
ago.
was old.
It's
That
time
that's
to move
old
it out.
enough to the point where like
Right.
yeah, but like Shadowkeep, it's like
Shadowkeep should have
still
probably
relatively
been brought
new.
up. Yeah, I agree. The weapons in that should have been brought up, and it really wouldn't have changed the loot pool. Like as I was just saying, most of the weapons in Shadowkeep suck anyway. It just would have given the people that
More
had
variety at
gotten that
least, especially for people who
exactly.
like just
Yeah.
who's like just getting different guns.
Right. Right.
So
So yeah, I do think that that's definitely a good point.
yeah, I don't. You guys play this very much like more than me, obviously. I am just. I'm enjoying the DLC. I'm enjoying it. I feel like the villain was just kind of placed there for like, hey, do this until the raid, right? I don't. The villain just kind of felt like it was important, right? It was about the fallen. Can we go into kind of spoilers? Can we? Do you think so?
I think
Well,
it's
how much
okay.
spoilers are you gonna do?
Uh, just I'll try to keep. I'll try to keep it. If not, just blur it out. Whatever, right?
Sure.
It was all about the fallen and they're someone being desperate enough for some type of power. And that is interesting because this faction we've been fighting for like the last 6 years. They've been trying to get power, and this is the furthest they've ever gone to something besides the Siva. Like this is like the next like level above that, and it's interesting. But this character just kind of came out of. I never read the lore books, but just kind of felt like it came out of
Nowhere.
left field.
Yeah.
Just came out of left field. Like, oh,
Yeah.
big bad
Yeah, I
hates
think that's my
barracks.
I think that's my biggest complaint. Yeah, it's just Aramis is kind of
She
underused.
felt like she was just kind of put in for this DLC. Like, I agree with that. I feel like if they wanted to make her a memorable villain, then during the last couple seasons, they could have had like, bands of fallen that are attacking places, or maybe they like
I
kill
mean,
like
they've done that
instead of have
before.
exactly
They
yeah
did it
like
with the
instead of
Taken King.
having yeah right well instead of having like Sloane and Asher Mir like just randomly fucking get warped out of existence. I think it would have been vastly more interesting if they got killed by bands of roaming fallen or something, sent out by Aramis, with
Yeah,
this new
wielding
mysterious
and
power.
unrecognizable power. Yeah, I think that would have been way
Yeah,
more
like that would have been
interesting.
a very interesting way to introduce this villain. But yeah, this villain didn't really have any introduction or anything into the story, so I didn't really feel that much for her. I think again, the everyone's eyes are still on the darkness as the main
Exactly.
villain,
Yeah.
and and sort of like this. It was sort of like a side story to progress that
Yeah,
main
I was
story
gonna
more
say,
than
like, I
anything
feel like
else.
the game. I feel like the bigger story in the game is your relationship between you and your ghost when you start obtaining stasis.
That's
Yeah,
Like,
interesting.
like
Yeah.
there are there's a moment where I was just running around using stasis, and my ghost just randomly says, "Hey, are you okay?
yeah,
Are
right.
you doing good?" And I think that's interesting because I actually like them furthering our relationship between us and our ghost, because we got
yeah,
that a little bit when we did the Kavastov quest,
yep,
right? When we're just sitting out and there's that heart to heart moment that's
right,
really nice.
yeah,
And now like we knew he cared, we knew he genuinely cared, but we didn't get too much. And I really like that he's genuinely worried about us using stasis and using and wielding the darkness,
Right.
because he's a warrior of light, I guess would be
Yeah,
the
it's like
yeah,
he's in your pocket, and the one power that is threatening the thing that created him is being used right next to is being used by someone he was sent out to basically save. So he's like, I don't know about this. Like this is I don't know about this one, Chief. Like, yeah,
what's interesting too
it's
is,
the most interesting part I think in
yeah,
in the campaign next to
and and
knowing about the triangles.
mechanically speaking, like the darkness subclass brings something even more interesting to the table. Like I was expecting it to be next to all the light abilities, right next to
yeah,
void, Solar, and arc. But no, it has its own separate subclass section. So I'm like,
Hmm.
yep,
huh,
yeah. I
that's
think
an
that's really interesting. The introduction of stasis here is actually really impressed me. The idea that you're throwing out like physical objects, right? It's not just like energy. It's not just like blue energy like arc or something. It's literally like you're creating ice crystals that can make barriers in the world, that can freeze enemies literally in the world. Like I think that that's really really cool, and the way that they introduced this subclass was very impressive. I feel like the way that they introduced this subclass is how they would want to remake all of the subclasses, because right now the stasis subclass tree is by far the most interesting, because you get to go find the different pieces of what you want. I just unlocked my first aspect and my first fragment on my Titan, and it's giving me brand new abilities, brand new things to do with stasis, and all of them sort of work a little bit better together, and you can swap them out as you want. Like you can switch grenades whenever you want, you can switch melees whenever you want. So I think that it was basically like sort of a redo on what they should have done in the beginning with the other three classes back 3 years ago. And I definitely appreciate the complexity of this particular ability, because I mean there's a ton of stuff going on within like all the different stats and things you can get for this subclass, and the fact that it literally like affects the game world. Like you can throw it on a wall and then climb it to get to a higher
Yeah.
location, which is crazy. So I think that that's really kind of some cool stuff. So that I think is definitely their biggest hit with now that we're talking all about stasis, I think it's time to talk about stasis in v,
before we
where
get
Actually,
into
getting
that.
before we go too far,
Yeah,
I
I,
like to
I
say
just wanted
something
to
stuff
say,
too.
yeah, when it comes, like you talk about how they should do this to all the other subclasses. They've actually come out and stated that, yeah, we if there was enough call for it, we will look into it.
oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, I hope they do, because I really hate the standards trees for
Right,
all the
because it's
light
not really they're
classes.
just choices. It's not
There's
trees.
no
It's
customization.
it's just
It
like
was
you
so
get these four.
casualized. It's
Yeah.
just nothing.
So
Right, and the way that they redid it with this one is just so much better. So I do hope that as well.
funny thing you're talking about, like how it's more physical. Like if you really think about like our subclasses with light's more synonymous with like warmth and atoms and whatever, kind of like moving around freely. Darkness is more cold and condensed and still, and nothing moves around, like frozen darkness, right? So it just kind of makes sense that like darkness has this more physical presence than energy burning electricity maneuvering
Right.
energy that's all around, when this is more physical, solid, and to stop you. It makes absolute sense. i
Yeah,
i, I thought
thematically it fits.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure everyone sees that, but I just thought that just popped in my head. I like to share that. But
No, that's
anyways,
great.
great. Go
Yeah.
into see you about multiplayer. Let's get into
Oh yeah.
multiplayer.
So there's a big outcry right now about how ridiculous stasis is in, and
Broken.
And you know
Ooh.
what? It's hard to disagree sometimes. I gotta say, when you're in PvP, and somebody throws down like a field of ice or whatever, or a super that literally freezes you in place, there's nothing more demoralizing than being literally immobile while the guy walks up to you and shotguns you in the face. Like it definitely hurts to have that happen.
So I found
Now,
out. Sorry,
okay,
just not to cut you off real quick, but I found out the way they intended it to be is if you melee or shoot your teammate who's frozen, you will break them immediately. That's supposedly their intention to balance that. But the problem with that is, well, you play Destiny multiplayer. It's so fucking hectic.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're not gonna have time to do that.
yeah, exactly. Like that's sure, that's a cute mechanic, but I ain't got time to be looking around for my frozen teammates trying to
Yeah, fuck them.
unfreeze them and shit.
Shoot away from barracks. Like,
Like,
I
yeah,
don't have time to
no,
like
no,
figure
no.
out that you're dying when I'm dying too by the exact same super. Like, I need to get out of there.
It's chasing me. I
Right.
can't help you.
Like,
Yeah,
you're done.
exactly.
Like, the thing is, once you have enough, like, I feel like the ice is kind of like if you touch it enough, or if you're in an AOE of it just long enough, you freeze. You're basically dead. You're
Yeah.
absolutely you, the chances of survival is like 1%, less
Yeah.
than that.
After you get frozen, you're pretty screwed. Unless if you have teammates backing you up, they can kill the person who froze you. And I've gotten out of it occasionally, but 9 times out of 10, you're just dead.
It
And
also doesn't help that breaking out damages you, which I still think is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah,
well, you
that's
don't.
fucking annoying.
Well, you don't have to. Again, you can just sit there and wait it out, and you don't get
Right,
damaged.
but it's a
It's
death
like
sentence. That's the problem in PvP.
right. I usually just wait it out because I know if I break out, I'm dead either way. But like again, yeah, I do think it damages you too much if you decide to try and break out. Uh, it shouldn't even damage you. It should not damage you at all if you break out. If you interact with it, you should be able to just break out with it. But that's what I was gonna say on the other side of this. On the other side of the coin, I do not think that like overall the abilities are actually broken. I don't think that any of these abilities are actually breaking the game or anything. I don't think that it's a silly thing to have in the game. What I think there needs to be some tweaking, like you don't get damaged when you break out, or you break out faster, or it takes longer to get frozen, and especially in that grenade that creates like a dome. Like you need to have there. It needs to definitely be
You
faster
know
to
what would be
break out of that.
nice? If they could figure out a way to, I don't know, tweak the PvP side of it while leaving the PvE side alone. I know they won't because they seem to be incapable of that, but I don't want to see the subclass suffer in PvE because of its ridiculousness
Exactly.
in PvP.
Yeah.
And like this is the
Exactly.
time,
And I think
Bungie,
that
you can't keep just balancing for PvP in a PvE/P game. Because there are plenty of people who don't do PvP, and a lot of people whose favorite things just get shafted because of PvP in a mode they don't touch, and that sucks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think leveling up too, like you have to do, like yeah, Void. No, no, Void. You have to do Vanguard. You have to do Crucible. You have to do like Gambit if you really want to do this raid. Uh, that's gonna come up next week, which I don't even think might even. It's gonna have server issues that day if anything. But just leveling up right now, at least for me, is very annoying because I have to relearn how to. What do I do first? Should I get this pinnacle gear first, or should I do this powerful? How farther away am I to
Right.
leveling up? Do I need the powerful two instead? That's what's annoying to me. But I think it's just a lot of growing pains and learning things again because I haven't done this in forever. But right now, everyone's just trying to get through Crucible as much as they can, Gambit, and just be done with it. Because a lot of
Right.
that's the only way you're going to be able to really get there by next week. So it's a lot of
Yeah,
things.
that's why I think it's actually I think it's kind of nice that they did limit that a little bit where getting the 1230 is not going to require all three characters. Like usually it requires all three characters to do that, and that sucked.
Oh, did
Sucked.
I
Yeah,
did.
oh
It
yeah.
used to require
Oh
three.
yeah.
okay,
That
never
you
mind.
would not be able to do it
I
otherwise.
I am like I don't know that much. So thank you.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like this time out, only having to do two characters each to be able to actually hit 1230 is very nice. Like
Especially when the
well, I'm
campaign is pretty short too. Campaign's pretty
yeah.
short.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, I mean, it took me about 3.5 hours to 4 hours to get through it while I was skipping all of the cutscenes and all the dialogue. If you listen to all the cutscenes and dialogue, I think it's somewhere around six. Um, But either way, like I think that I do appreciate the fact that it's not quite as much of a grind getting up there. Uh, so I do think that the system that they have for the raids, where they're going to lock the artifact power and they're going to have everyone be at this like at the same level on day one, I think is very good. So I'm glad that it's not going to be quite as much of a pain in the ass as it was for say Garden or for the other Crown of Sorrows, Scourge of the Past, those kinds. So but anyway, overall, for Destiny 2, I am enjoying it. I am going through a lot of pain to enjoy it because I need to enjoy it on 3 separate characters to level up, or I'm doing that. uh, Either way, I do think it's pretty good. Not as good as Forsaken. I would so far say that as long as the season actually brings something interesting and the raid is great, which it usually is, then I
Mm-hmm.
think this will be a better expansion than Shadowkeep. But again,
Oh
we have
yeah,
to
for
wait and
sure.
sort of see. Yeah,
Yep.
on that one.
Okay.
Well, now that we've covered Destiny and games and everything, David, why don't you talk about your games you've been playing and also the new PS5? You are the only one among us that
You
has been
bastard.
gifted
Oh
with the
man,
ability to purchase one. And so, yeah, why don't you talk about your experience? And why don't you start us off with the type of PS5 you got,
dude,
buddy? Why don't you let it give us
gifted
in?
might be an understatement. I think like people like gifted is what we would think like. Oh, I actually managed to get a PS5. I'm gifted just enough for that. I ordered a digital version last month or two months ago. Sorry, in September. I lined up for the queue. I signed in, gave them information. I bought a digital PS4 5. Sorry, and I was like, all right. The reason why I'm buying this, all my games are basically digital anyways. It's $100 less. The competition is as powerful. I'm sorry, more powerful for the same price if I buy it for 500 as well. I'm just gonna go for 400, right? 2 months pass. I get I'm looking. I went at my door. I pick it up, and it just says digital edition. I open it. It's okay. The packaging. Let me just start with the packaging first. People were all up in arms like for a month when people were unboxing their PS5s, Digital Foundry. People were like, "Wow, it's all packaged shit and all that," right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But it really felt like they were like just they put it in a box. They put two like paper things to hold it together. That's all they did. And on top of it was all your HDMI charger cord and controller and some instructions. That's all there was on the box. The thing I felt like the packaging was dangerous from the start. But anyways, I open it, I get it, but it's a little thicker though. Why is it thicker? What is that? I got a goddamn disc version of the PS5 for $100 less. $100 less. I
That's
got the
still
disc drive.
insane.
I'm like, wait, what?
It's
The
just a
box is digital.
yeah.
The everything says digital. I still have the box that says digital. I took pictures. I'm like, wait, am I fucking what? I got a digital. I bought a digital and I got a disc for no extra charge, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, just to clarify, you received a box that said digital version of the PS5.
I
When
have
you
it
opened
right
the
here,
digital version,
like right here. I
yeah,
have it. It says digital right here.
and then you opened it and there was a disc version of it in there, which
It
is just hilarious.
it shows a digital like I don't know like some person must have had like a bad day maybe packaging it. I don't know how packaging was with a bunch of moving back and forth trying to find new places to make these consoles. I don't know. There must have been like a lot of confusion. I think I think maybe there had been some confusion with some people. Like they look exactly the same. So arguably at a glance from someone that's like probably at a factory line, they look the exact same, right? I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened. I wish I knew what happened, but I'm not gonna complain about it, right? I
I
am gonna
feel so
take it.
sorry for whoever got your digital
I
edition when
think
they
that
ordered
might
the
have
disc
happened.
version.
I don't know if
Someone's
they made
fired. Like
maybe
someone's getting fired over that.
maybe they made more disc than digital, and my order, like, oh, we just gonna have to give this man, a lucky day or something, right? I don't know what happened. I I'm curious, but I'm not gonna ask questions. I am just gonna take my my disc drive, my free $100 Blu-ray drive, and call it a day. I am happy, right? So that's the story of the PS5. And in terms of plugging it in and then starting it up, it's basically the same with the PS4, right? You make a user account, like signing in is exactly the same as PS4. The UI for that is just exactly the same. You start it up, you sign in, you do a firmware update, you actually sign in with your account, and then you're off to the races. You can play whatever you want, download whatever you want. Every PS4 game works. Most of them, I guess, right? There's a list. Um, so and I tried some games, and like it's just like a GPU upgrade. It's really just like it's just a GPU upgrade. And it's fantastic. Uh, the games run better than ever, or at least in most cases they do. Sometimes they just run the same depending on developers or anything like that. So, let me slow down a bit. The
So what games have
PS5.
you been? I know you're playing.
Sorry, yeah,
Doesn't it
yeah.
come with? Doesn't it come with the game? Like,
It came with a game called Astrobot, and I played
okay.
that and I finished it, and it's really
Well,
interesting. Astrobot's been like this game that they've been making. Actually, no, it's just PS4 they started making Astrobot, I think, but
Yeah.
they really showed the biggest thing that interested me about this console is the controller. The controller, I think, is a little bit bigger. It kind of reminds me of an Xbox controller in terms of grip. It has vibrations that remind me of the Nintendo Switch,
The HD
and it's
Rumble.
the HD Rumble. It has like it feels like it has a better HD Rumble, right?
Yeah, the haptic feedbacks you're talking about, right?
It has that. It has that. What's really interesting is the triggers. In the game Astrobot, and I showed some videos. Um, there's a spring section. You get into like a little bit of robot, and you just kind of hold down the trigger, and and the trigger is holding back, or it's like holding your finger from pulling all the way down. Like there's something stopping you from holding down the trigger all the way. You feel this on both sides of the triggers depending on what your character is doing in the game, and it's really interesting to see how far this will go with other games, because I tested this with other games as well. Borderlands I tried as well. That game runs perfectly fine now. uh
that's good.
it runs really good. It will stop my trigger just for like a centimeter, and then you have to keep holding it back, and once it gets to a certain like hurdle, like a small little hurdle, you can actually fire it, and you can feel it on the right side of your controller. It's like this. It's really hard to see where they can really add these features to this console. Again, it's gonna have to be developers, but it's really interesting. It's really different from DualShock 4, and I played on Xbox as well. They're all different. I think this is the one controller where it actually it messes with my mind a little bit, because I'm so used to mashing triggers, right? There's no tension, whatever. This one actually gives you tension when you're doing a bow, when you're trying to grab something, try to crush something with your hand. You feel that, and it's really really like different. So that's what I liked about it. In terms of games, I tried Borderlands. I tried Warzone. Warzone looks exactly the same. There's not too much anything different about it besides the HD textures you can download, but you can download that on PS4 Pro anyways. Um, it's just a more heightened experience in terms of vibration. If you don't like vibration, I don't know what I can say about that, because I know you, Daniel, you're not a big fan of vibration, are you?
Eh. Yeah, I just don't like how it drains my battery all the time. That's the biggest issue with the PS4, with the DualShock 4, that the vibration just fucking constantly drains the battery. Like the battery would last maybe 3 to 5 hours, whereas with it off, my controller could last 6 to 8 hours. But I'm probably going to keep it on with the PS5 because of the haptic feedback, and like from what people have been saying, it's a completely different experience. It's
It's
more than just vibration, from what I've seen.
it's a way different experience. I need to try some more games. Again, I was crushing Destiny. I played Demon Souls. That's a
Ooh.
fantastic. Oh, let me talk about Demon Souls, man. That game looks fucking great, and Sony needs to purchase Blue Point immediately.
No,
Or
you can't say that.
no, no,
They
wait.
ruined the atmosphere. They got
Man,
rid of the
dude,
cat.
Demon Souls. Okay, I never played Demon Souls, right? And I can't be too much of 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 someone to really tell you like how much different it is. Let me just, man, just the level of detail, the oh my god, the game looks fucking amazing. The the loading is like instantly. Like for me to start up Demon Souls, literally just shows the game screen, loads in for a bit. I think it literally takes maybe like 10 or 12 seconds and you're already in the game.
Yeah, that's pretty
You're
sweet. You were
you're
telling me
already in the game.
something. You were telling me something interesting. We were talking about haptic feedback and everything. You were telling me that when you're blocking the shield or something, and somebody hits your shield and staggers you, you get a different haptic feedback on your controller to sort of give you that feeling that of the shield being broken.
Yeah, I
Uh,
got, yeah, so someone hit my shield. They did like a knockback on my shield and it goes like dong and my controller really went like boo, like I like it was vibrating in and out as it like a metal clang just happened, like I just
oh, that's
like
cool.
so like yeah, it's fantastic. The fireballs you can feel like again, like some of this stuff. Think about like, oh man, this controller is gonna be like a wet dream for someone like Kojima, dude, because he likes to do a lot of
Oh
vibrations
my
with a lot of.
god.
He will absolutely see this controller because he already does that with like games like when you're just taking a step or something, the controller vibrates, right? Or if someone touches your arm a little bit, he'll vibrate the controller, right?
Do
That's
we
all.
know? Sorry, do we know if there's a PS5 upgraded version of Death Stranding yet?
Hmm.
If it's not, do you think it's because he's working on that?
Dude, I have a lot of games to test. There's a lot of games I gotta play, and even then I'm playing like other games that I've been playing forever, like Siege, and I'll get into what I like to talk about Siege, but I don't want that to be a whole segment. I don't know how much y'all care about Siege anymore, um, but yeah, it's just the game. Demon Souls look fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the future of what they're gonna do with this controller because maybe it's just a bunch of gimmicks. Maybe it's we're not gonna see anything like from most games. Maybe it's just gonna be first party, especially with something like Horizon. Horizon's really gonna probably use all the what the controller can have and more. So I'm looking forward to PlayStation games. I wasn't at first, but ever since I got this console and this controller, I've been looking forward to it actually.
Nice, nice. I think that's a good way to kind of sum up the everything. It sounds like it kind of just upgrades, your previous games, does some cool things with the haptic feedback. No, everything I've been hearing about the system is that it's good and everything. It does what you want it to do, but the controller is actually the real star of the show. So that's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, it just it seems like it's like the exact same like think about like the opposition like Xbox Series X and Series S, like the same UI, same whatever, same as the last gen. Just think about that for this one. The UI is a little different. They changed a few things. I'm kind of like having growing pains with a little bit. I'm still trying to figure things out as I play, as I see what I can and can't do. But it is definitely a good powerhouse of a console. Like these two consoles that came out. I know we're supposed to talk about PS5, but both these consoles, at least for price performance, I don't know if many PC people can match it. At least not right now. But as soon as more cards come out, like 30, 50, and 60, and some other cards, I'm sure people are gonna match it. And This is the closest I think. This is the best in terms of consoles have ever been in terms of price to performance. I think
That's good.
in quite a while. So
Cool, man.
it's good console, good controller. Cannot wait for the future of PS5. God of War, Horizon, just whatever else Sony has cooking up. I can't wait for it. What I'm not looking forward to is probably the $70 price tag, but that's another story.
Oh man, I can't wait to see all the sports games charge $70 for less content and then microtransactions. That's
Hey,
gonna go over well.
you're not a true fan unless you buy the $100 edition. You're not a true 2K
Don't have
fan.
questions. Just
I
consume product and get
oh
excited for the next product.
man, people just get my goat with fucking 2K, man. I don't understand. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Anyways, good console, good controller. We can go to the next topic unless there's anything else you want to ask. I was kind of like out of breath talking a lot about it, but thank you
It's
for
all good.
listening.
Yeah. Daniel, what do you got in? You got anything else that you have on your mind?
Uh, Not really.
When
Like
can you borrow
on
my PS5?
yeah. That's the first question on my mind because I want to play that fucking Demon Souls.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come over, or I can bring it over for a bit. You're welcome.
I did ask Mike come over, like
No,
straight up.
come over sometime this week if you want.
Yeah, 'cause
I think that's something else actually that's worthy of topic is that the only reason that me and Daniel aren't, which we totally would be,
you
is the
cut out
fact
there.
that the. Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah.
For a bit.
All right. Well, I was just saying that like one of the reasons that me and Daniel don't have a PS5 right now is another worthy topic of discussion, and that's the fact that the rollout
Oh,
of the PS5 so far has been not good. Like again, this is not entirely on Sony's fault. So everyone who wants to place this solely on their door are
no,
not
you gotta
correct.
keep in mind.
It is partially their
Yeah, it's partially their fault because they didn't have any type of protection against bots. I mean, granted,
right.
it's incredibly hard to get protect against bots. But when the pre-orders went live the first time, they had like other companies
Exactly.
have some type of protection to at least hold them off for like a couple minutes, but they had none.
Yeah, and
So
it's not
they
just that too. It's the release window that they had for their initial batch of PS5s was ridiculous. Like no one knew when it came out. Like is it live now? Is it live later? We don't know. And and the whole idea of having all these people just immediately buying them within seconds of them going live on the sites, like I do think that I think Walmart had a better plan than Sony, which is ridiculous, where it released it out in different waves where it had gave people like 5 to 8 chances over a course of 2 days to pick one up. Now, of course, that didn't really protect anything because I tried on like 3 separate attempts to get one there. But I do wish that there had been a better way. And again, the pandemic definitely
oh yeah,
plays a
for sure.
role in
Like
this.
I am
Everyone's buying
certain
online.
they
There's
could not
Gaming
no
at
produce
all
as
time
many.
high.
They could not produce as many systems because of COVID, which is completely understandable.
yeah, they
Yeah,
can't produce as many. More people are buying them, and it's all online. So these three factors like sort of combined to make a maelstrom of shit when it came to trying to get one of these
as
things. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm irritated by it. I've been wanting to get a PS5 as soon as I heard it and I had the availability to get it, but I wasn't able to, not because of my lack of trying, but more so on the like lack of availability for me to get one. So I do think that that was sort of botched. Again, understandably botched. Like I get why it happened, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm irritated that I'm not currently playing Demon Souls.
Yeah.
right. There, like someone like me who has already played Demon Souls, I'm way looking forward to it. People who have already played it, probably feel some pain like, oh, I really want to play this game I love, last 10 years,
Right.
I love this game. Um, but no, this entire year, gaming has just been at complete demand with Nintendo Switch, with PlayStations and Xboxes, um, like to the point where like it happened on the PC side as well. Graphic cards just sold out
Oh
immediately because of
yeah.
bots because they
Peop
know how much it is in terms of demand.
Yeah, like you said, people are desperate. I mean, hell, I decided to sell my Xbox One S because I don't fucking launch. I don't fucking play that thing. And I was like, well, I could probably see how much I can sell it for to get to get some money for my PS5. Within an hour, sold it for the price I wanted.
Oh, geez. What like what like? Oh, actually,
150. Like
okay.
150. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's for Xbox Series S digital.
One S, yeah, all digital edition. The Xbox
That's
Sad.
fucking great because like some people don't care about resolution. People just like can't play the games for like $15 a month. Like, yes, you can. It's like, all right, I'll take it. So yeah, that's fantastic. Good job, man.
And then you have people who are selling their scalped fucking PS5s for like 2,000. It's
Oh
like
my
Yeah,
god, I
right.
saw
Stuff like
$999
you can fuck off.
Xbox Series X's. I'm like, fuck
Scalpers don't
off.
deserve rights.
Oh Jesus. But anyways, going through stuff I've been playing. Can I I don't want to segue too much away from the scalping right now, but
That's fine. Go for it. What do
back
you
to
what,
things
what have
where
you been playing?
back to the things I've been playing was, of course, that library. I like to get into Siege real quick if that's fine, because I've been playing a little bit of Siege,
Go for it, man.
and they changed some stuff. This new operator, it's ridiculous. I gotta share because I just saw the video like early today. Like, I mean, this video came out like a week ago. I was like, I didn't. Okay, sorry about that. Jesus. Okay. So, so the the oh god,
New
I lost my
operator.
train of thought. New operator Marooney, right? Um,
Rooney?
sorry,
That's
Marooney.
that's
Sorry,
their name.
hold on. Let me look up. Our Rooney.
Oh,
She
Rooney. Okay, that makes
she. Oh my god, the utility this person fucking has is astounding. She has three things she can throw up on any surface, or at least openable surfaces. So that's like breachable walls. She can throw it on doorways like castle and you know other things, right? So it's a barricade that has three like bunch of lines, going through it. If you walk through it, you get 40 damage off of you, and it goes off for a bit, right? And then people are kind of like freaking out, like, oh my god, like this is gonna be fucking annoying, and it looks like it's gonna be fucking annoying. Um, s- Utility will burn up if you throw flashbangs. Will burn up. Um, but it will be disabled for like 10 seconds, and it's just the only way you can pop it is if you can see where this little gadget is, kind of like trying to find like an Ella charge. I don't know if you guys know Ella that
I
much.
David, we've played
Yeah,
copious
I know what
hours of
Ella is, bro.
Siege.
You're good. As
Oh
long as it's
yeah.
one of the base operators,
Okay. Well, Ella,
I gotcha.
but she throws in top of the walls. You can make entryways, like how people make roams. You can throw it above that wall, like barricades. When you make them, you'll make a barricade of that on a soft breach, but you can make a little hole so your operators can walk back and forth, but someone else on the opposing team can't. They'll get burned.
Okay, so
Ah,
so yeah, come look at it. So like it doesn't hurt teammates.
It doesn't hurt
That's
teammates, of course not. But like if you walk near it, the attacking team we're gonna know someone's near it, right? So you got to be careful with that. It's because it goes down when a defensive person's near it.
she has the P10 Roni? That's
She has oh my
insane.
dude, don't I'm about to go through this. She has the P10 Roni, which is a fast firing. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is incredibly good in terms of getting headshots. But if you're not about that, she has the
EBR?
goddamn EBR from Dokkaebi
That
on the
is
defensive. She's the first operator to have a goddamn uh battle no
a
like
marksman rifle.
a
That is
marksman rifle.
insane. That's insane. She has it on
It is
defense.
so goddamn. It just makes it funnier because she basically has a legion on her gun too, or as her secondary. The pistol the
Yeah, the
Kavera has.
PRV-92.
She basically has an unsilenced Kavera pistol, by the way,
That's oh my god.
and that's not even dude.
I'm really excited to get.
That's not even the
I'm really
cream of the
excited to
crop of
get
this.
spawn peaked. I'm really
She
excited to get the
she
battle.
has yeah. Well, I mean, she doesn't have a scope on it. I mean, not like a 2 times scope. She has just a normal like dot.
I've seen people spawn peek with iron sights. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
it's
seen
gonna.
Russian Badger spawn peak with Tachanka's pistol.
Oh God, man. Okay, so dude, that's not even. She has two prosthetics on her, right, on her leg and her arm. Dude, she will literally punch a huge ass fucking hole in the goddamn wall.
what?
If you punch four holes side by side, two by two, you can jump through it. She has a goddamn Metal Gear bionic arm, guts arm on her.
Oh God.
Like when you know how you knife someone, she doesn't knife anyone. She clocks them with a left hook. She will clock you with a left hook instead of a knife.
This is insane.
She will
That's
clock you.
funny.
So she has this metal arm. She has this EBR. She has basically the secondary for Kavera. She has this annoying like
Ability, yeah, the
ability.
Surya Gate. Oh
The
my god.
Surya Gate.
She's a 2-speed, 2 armor?
She's a 2-speed, 2 armor. Well, I mean, actually, I think I probably prefer that, honestly. Maybe I don't know. Is it? God, there's something more like fucking ridiculous about her. Like she, man, it just. I'm very scared to go up against her because Jesus, she's like a mix of Capcan, Castle, fucking. She's a mix of operators.
I guess that's the question. How many charges does she get for
She
ability?
has she has 3, but it's just if you go through it, it's disabled for like 10 seconds before it goes back up.
So it's just permanently on unless they
It's permanently on,
destroy the
and you have to be on the side to see it to shoot it. Like
that's that's gonna get changed. That is
or
busted.
at least a good angle. I don't know if you can really because like it opens up after it
I
charges back up.
guarantee that's gonna change because that is borderline broken.
I know I'm probably forgetting something else that she can do, but you can look up a video on her. They're changing a lot of other operators. I need to get through this kind of quick. Man. So they nerfed Jaeger again. They well
My
maybe
god.
it's kind of weird because it's kind of like a Capcan rework where it's like he has like 5, but they don't kill instantly, but it's more utilized differently. He only gets 1. No, he gets his 2 ADSs, right? Or his 3 ADSs. They only take out 1 projectile every 10 seconds now.
Oh wow, okay. That's a big
Really?
nerf.
That's a huge nerf. Wow, even
But
I know that's a nerf.
but after 10 seconds, it'll come back. Um, but all I know is, man, Fuse just got like an indirect buff, I think.
Hell yeah, he did. Let's
Oh
go,
Finally.
my,
my boy.
oh
My
my,
boy
Although
Fuse.
let's be clear, the people who main Jaeger don't use this gadget. They use his gun because his gun is god tier.
yeah, pretty much. People have been even without a scope, people are still using that. Habana
Wait a
got
second. Are
Fight
you
him.
talking about Fuse?
yeah, Fuse.
God tier. Sorry, go
Got
ahead.
okay, going through the list. Habana can now change how many shots she can shoot in her little fidget spinners. So it can go 2, 4, 6.
Oh, that's good.
Because
Wow, that's
four,
actually
Peak holes
four,
if you want.
yeah, 4 is also enough to destroy bottom hatches. Oh, I didn't forget her. Aruna's ability. Sorry, going back to her, she can do hatches as well.
That's
She can do hatches. She can do anything that's barricadable. And she can make a rotate hole or she can barricade it and dude it's just
dude.
man
Basement on Bang's gonna be a nightmare with that. With
she almost
her.
remind it's just oh yeah no she's like a mix of Kate as well actually if you think about it jeez anyways Habana she can change how much she can fire at any time so it's a little bit better. Yokai is no longer invisible when it's thrown or go on the ceiling. People can see it now. It's no
Thank
longer
God, 'cause
invisible.
that's really annoying. 'Cause
Uh, run out timers are now at 1 second compared to 2, so people get a little
good.
bit of a yeah. And apparently they had there were some gadgets interactions that were kind of bugged that they fixed. For example, on here it says Ash's breaching round can now stick on Malusi's Banshee Sonic defense and destroy. Apparently, it just bounced off the thing.
Wow.
It just bounced off like a ping pong ball. It just bounced off. So, and then of course they're remaking Tower. I think it's called Tower. No, Skyscraper. The Asian kind of map.
Oh, you mean the map no one likes? You have to go down a fucking elevator shaft? Yeah, that's tower.
No. That's Tower. He's talking about the one
No,
that's
that's the Korean one.
Yeah, he's talking about the one that's got the temple on top of the
Yes,
skyscraper.
Oh
temple.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah,
I constantly
that's
forget that
skyscraper.
that's a skyscraper. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
genuinely.
I know, right? So, anyways, I mean, there's a few skyscrapers, kind of like maps, anyways. But
They should
uh,
remake Tower by removing it from the game because that map is
I
trash.
don't know what they're doing with it. So, anyways, yeah, skyscraper. As they're changing it up. I haven't seen too much on it, but anything to fucking remake something, I'm down for it. That's previously shit. They're adding chat accessibility. So I will say something, and then it will be sent onto the chat if someone wants to not talk to people, but like have something in the bottom of the right corner, or people can type in the right corner, and then some voice would be said in game that can be talked to me if they don't have a mic.
Hmm.
So
Future.
I know, right? It could be bad, it could be good, man. I just Jesus
How many
Christ.
Game Awards are you expecting to hear?
So many Game Awards, and of course Operator Price Drop,
Future.
and
Sorry.
well, mine has 4 magnets instead of 5 now. Tokabi has frag grenades instead of stun grenades. And Valkyrie now has impact grenades. And some other
Oh
changes.
man.
But
I actually
anyways,
kind of like that. The fact
Yeah.
that Valkyrie has impact grenades is cool because you can make peekles in other rooms and then throw like a camera
it's
outside
just
of that room.
Valkyrie has been so powerful recently, and I don't know, maybe that was like one thing that was making her powerful. And I've never seen her really use too many deployable shields, but I feel like impact grenades are such a god tier of a thing next to C4
So
in this game.
useful. They're so fucking useful.
They're very
For
useful.
shields. I mean, shields even got like a nerf as well.
Yeah, thank God, because it needed them.
If you shoot them enough or something, I gotta look that up.
If they shoot them enough, they'll now stagger back, and melee actually staggers them back and leaves them open for attack.
So yeah, man, I
Nice.
can't wait to play the game, get pissed off, and keep playing it.
Oh, it's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
Well, there you go. That's a lot of the games. I mean, honestly, I think that's most of our experiences with Destiny is like love-hate relationship. It beats me for a while and then gives me, and then it beats me again.
you become a masochist for these types of things, you know. Like,
Yeah,
it's all,
exactly.
it's all good. It's all good. So, anyways, that's Aruni. That's how I pronounce her. Hold on,
That's right,
Aruni.
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 Close
Man,
enough, I'll say it. Fuck it. Who
man,
cares?
fucking EBR and like defense. Fuck me, dude. Like,
That's fucking wild to me.
oh, that's she can punch, dude. I should send you the video. She punches huge ass holes into the wall. It's ridiculous how like everyone else is kind of like a little bit inch hole inch hole. She will pull you through a goddamn wall if she could, man. Like she's about to. Oh man, have you ever seen that like gif of someone like punching open like a wall and they grab a beer and they pull it back? That would be her.
No,
God,
it's all of a sudden you're not playing Siege anymore and you're just playing Resident Evil 7 and Jack goes through the wall. Just like walks through the wall. You're like, "Oh, hey, it's a Rooney." All right.
Yeah.
it
Anyway,
do
anything
be
else?
like that, don't it?
Anything else I've been playing? I mean, I've been playing some older games because I'm still on PS4 because I still got a backlog on that. Um, I'm just waiting for Downey here to get a PS5 so I can continue some backward compatible
Well, help me
games.
get one.
Yeah, sure. Just wait till February.
Uh,
I don't know. At this point, like, Sony's not telling us too much on like when some things are gonna be activated or for order or not or whatever.
I know GameStop's going to get more on Black Friday, so I'm hoping
So
for
yeah.
that.
I mean, besides that, I've been playing just mindless hack and slash Berserk Band of the Hawk, but that's really it.
Cool,
Alright.
cool.
Yeah, just those 3 games I've been kind of playing. I might be free
There
in
you
one
go.
game, but I think that's it. Yeah,
Well,
that's it for me, man.
Well, we've been going on for
nice.
about an hour and a half, so you guys want to call it here?
Nice. All right. Well, I think it's yeah, let's call it here. We got some things to so at the end of our sessions, we always like to shill. Let's shill a little bit about something we've been playing. Tell people to go play it, watch it, read it, whatever you want to do. I'll kick us off here today because I forgot to mention something else I've been playing. So I actually purchased the Borderlands 3 DLC, which included something called Arms Race, which is like their new sort of it's almost like a battle royale except for it's only against the enemies but the circle always closes in and you have to use the weapons find in the arena. There's no abilities, no anything like that. You just find the weapons, you run around, try and get as much loot as you can and extract before getting killed by the zone. But Anyway, I've been loving it. It's a lot of fun. Me and Gio have been hitting it pretty hard. It's a great time. You just jump in, get your loot, kind of try and survive, and get out. And all the new weapons are amazing. The new trees on each of the characters got their own new skill class tree, and all of them have great uses and stuff. I think a few of them are a little bit underpowered, most. But other than that, still looking really good, and game's a lot of fun. So that's what I've been doing. And my name's Travis. You can find me at beatthatboss.blogspot.com. And thanks for listening. Daniel, what you
Well,
got?
I'm a crab named Heller. I make YouTube videos. You can find me at the link below, well, or on the fucking page, since I'm uploading it to my channel. But what I could recommend? Fucking, I honestly don't know, because like I'm not gonna recommend Godfall yet because it's too soon, and
Right.
obviously you're playing on PC, Epic Games, so I'm just gonna say a no on that.
You watch any show recently? Any movie, maybe? Anything like that?
Just been rewatching Vikings, so yeah, I'll
Oh,
just show that. Go watch Vikings.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Vikings is fucking
100%.
great.
It's really
It
good.
really fucking is.
Like it's
really
really,
fucking
really good.
is.
History Channel. I don't think they really ever disappoint when it comes to the shows like this, man. It's just they. Oh man, it's fantastic. I gotta
Yeah,
finish it. I'm like on season 5 or 4. It's fantastic.
It's fucking got you. I'm rewatching
terrific
it
show.
because it's been so long. I don't remember most of everything. So, but holy fuck, it's so good.
The
It's
same
so good.
people who make some music on that is making Valhalla music. So
Yep.
I
I think
mean,
we can all agree that the scene in Vikings, with no spoilers here, with the two kings talking, in
Yeah,
season
that is
absolutely,
god
4,
tier.
one of the best scenes I've ever seen on television. Terrific. The
absolutely.
whole show is great. What a great show. That was a good one. All right, Dave, you got any social media to plug or not?
I have nothing. I am just happy, and I was kind of nervous for this because it's like the only like legit first podcast I've been on. I was kind of nervous throughout it, but I was happy just to join it anyways. Uh, Thanks for having me. I guess my alias might be just either Dismal or Dave. I don't really have one, but thank you for thank you. In terms of any media I've consumed, honestly, I just been on Siege and other games. Don't play
Nice.
Siege. That's what I can say. Don't play that. Uh,
Anti-shill today.
Anti no. Okay, an actual shill though. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Um, Try to get your PS5 as much as can if you really want to play this, Demon Souls. It's absolutely fantastic.
There you go.
The console is great. Go, just try and get one as much as you can. If you're not, it's all good. Sony has promised to support the PlayStation for the next few years. So there'll be plenty of time. The biggest difference is probably performance, but you're just with us with the PS5 crowd. You're not missing out too much. Maybe besides 1 or 2 games, but again, you're also getting a good catalog with Spider-Man and Horizon, and some other games coming to the PS4. Anyways, so
Nice.
at least I think Horizon, but some other games as well. You'll be fine. Try to get yourself a PS5 or just enjoy gaming for now because it's been such a blast recently. So thank you.
There you go. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and have an excellent rest of.
You cut out so hard.
So what a
Did I?
fucking
Oh, good.
what a
Perfect.
what a
Well, all
flop of
right.
an
You know what?
outro.
All right, get the hell out. Anyone who's listening to this, leave right now. Don't even pay attention. Get the fuck out of here.
Damn,
Just-
King.
All right.
You're free.
Thanks for
Send the
listening.
hounds, Smithers.
All right. That you